doing in first aid. So this was like the Africa Unit Square. So when I got there, I started to phone the ambulance. And from nowhere, the police then came in. And to me, being a lawyer, representing people who were victims of, torture, victims of assault and all that stuff, I did not realize that that time, that was my time to face the same risk that my clients faced. So I was attacked when I was representing my client, Itai. And the attack was so embarrassing to me and shocking at the same time, because I was attacked in full view of the public, and my arm broke instantly, because they were beating me all over my body. And I tried to run away, and they chased after me, and they attempted to knock my head with a baton stick. But unfortunately, I was saved by a taxi driver, who then took me to the police station, hoping that I would get further help. But instead, I was putting myself in the lion's mouth. And at the police station, things got worse. I was tortured at the police station, the central police station. I was literally abducted, because when the people saw that the lawyers being attacked, they then called other lawyers, and they came to the police station, and they were told that I was not there, but there was noise. Almost every lawyer in Harare came to the police station. That's how I was saved. At that time when I was being attacked, in my mind, I still think Itai has died, but no, he had not, and he was then rescued by his colleagues and taken to the hospital. So I was later on admitted in the hospital, and coincidentally, we were in the same ward, Itai Dzamara. And him sleeping there, me with my broken arm, sleeping beside him. We started to joke. We started to joke about it, like, you see, your lawyer is now, sleeping beside you. It was just like, it was like something that was very weird, that I'd gone to rescue him, but instead we ended up in the same situation. So from that time, me and Itai then we then grew a relationship. We then grew a relationship that was
I'm not sure.
Okay. Then we grew a relationship that was very basically close. So yeah, from that time, Itai he just continued with his work, the work of democracy and so forth. And it was in March time after that incident that Itai was abducted. So Itai was abducted. This happened. Our torture and assault happened on the 4th of November, 2014. But yes, I can see Koma Dzamara Pinda. So yeah, our torture and abduction happened on the 4th of November. But Itai was then abducted a few months later. This was like on March 9, today, the date that we have today, that we're commemorating. And when he was abducted, I was probably the first person to be called after Itai Dzamara found out. So how was he abducted? Itai, on the 9th of March, he decided to go and have a haircut at a local barber shop in his neighborhood. And when he was there, two men came into that barber shop, and they asked, this was the question, according to the barber man. They asked, pane mombe dzakapiwa pasasana. This is like in an urban setting. People are talking about the stolen cow. So people were puzzled. Then, they did not even understand what these guys were saying. So they went out. Then they came back, and they asked about airtime. Do you sell airtime? Yeah, telecell. Those were the exact words. The guy said, no, I only sell earbud. Then in that moment, they then asked, Koyo, how's Itai Dzamara? He was then having a haircut at that time. Then Itai then asked, who's asking? And at that moment, a car then came in, a double twin cab. This guy said there were two cars. The other car was at the corner, but it was just like there. Then another car was like, in the vicinity. So another car then came into the barber, closer to the barber shop, and then they just apprehended Itai, and they took him in that other car. Then that other car that was like waiting by the corner then came in again. So there were like two cars. Then it sped off. So what these guys said now was, okay, is Itai Dzamara, because they knew that Itai would go into town every day and demonstrate and so forth. So they did not really find it like shocking or that much that they had to react at that point, because they thought they were the police who had just come and apprehended them. So time passed. Then Itai's niece, who was now coming from school, passed through the barber shop. And one of the guys then told this niece that, my guru kuziva kuti mukoma watorwa nevakomana. That was the message. So the niece went and told Itai Dzamara that. Then in that moment, that's when Itai Dzamara then came in, running to the barber shop and asked, what are you talking about? Then that was the explanation. So she then phoned, the office, and I was the first person to pick it up. Then I went to Glenora, and I talked to Itai Dzamara. And Itai Dzamara then told me what she had been told. Then we went to report this. In fact, I first went to the barber shop and asked these guys what happened. So they told me the same thing. Then later on, we then went to Glenora police station, and we reported the issue. And the police did not want to take it up because they were saying Itai is not disappeared for more than 48 hours, so they could not take it. But we're saying this is not like just being absent or just people. We know that he was taken by the police, so I had to push and also become a bit resistant on that one. So I then had to gather more information as to, so where could he be taken? Because I'm a lawyer, I need to know where he's being detained. So this police told me that if Itai was going to be arrested by any other police station, which is not us, they would have told us first. So we don't know where he is gone. Why don't you go to Central? So we went to Central, he wasn't there. We tried other police stations, he wasn't there. And then the following day, we did the same thing. That's when things started to go like serious. So I then, tried to, started to threaten the police, like, if you don't take this one, I'm going to court. Then that's when they took the report, and that's when they tried to like investigate stuff, but nothing came out of that. And that was the beginning of the disappearance there. We did not have any information. We did not even know where he was taken. The only thing that we knew were the number plates of the cars that had abducted him. So it was an ABG. Then the other numbers, they said they were folded, like they'd folded the numbers, and but there were some clear numbers that were then identified by people who were there. So weeks went by, months went by, and now we're talking about years going by, and it's quite unfortunate that the government of Zimbabwe has not done anything about this. But when I left Zimbabwe now, things were getting heated up. A message was sent to Itai Dzamara's brother, Patson, that had a detailed narration of what could have happened to Itai. In fact, the message was saying this is what happened to him. And the message had names, had vehicle numbers, it had everything. And I do have that message. And I can, while we're here, I can probably just read the message for you because it's something that we've tried to make it, public, but it seems like people sometimes probably are afraid, or they think probably such things don't happen in Zimbabwe. That's something about us Zimbabweans. When Itai was abducted, I was faced with situations where people were saying, no, hakuna zvinhu zvakadaro zvinoitika muno. People were denying that the man had been abducted. And that denial is something that also contributed to his continued disappearance. Because if people had believed that this had happened and much noise was made, surely we would have known where Itai is right now. So this was the message that was received, and it came from a. So it said on 16 September 2015, Patson Dzamara, the young brother to the missing person, reported at the CID Law and Order, Harare, on 14 September 2015 at 1:15 that he had received the following message from 0778 467 242 that Itai was abducted using a white double cab registration number ABG 862 by Tichareva Mbayoa Libadishamu Owen Ziwanaye Mazarura Tendai Chinyani and taken to Border Gezi for 4 days and then moved to Goromonzi farm by Watson Marufu from Army KG6. After meeting Army police, CIO started to accuse each other and said that they'd buried, they killed and buried Itai at Chikurubi Prison Cemetery, grave number 71, and exhumed him and taken him to a dam called Chitamba Dam in Mazoe Road. After Glenara Estate Farm past Toget near CIO headquarters being built, and Ndai Ikoko now called the police from there, Usarigere. This was the message. And yes, we acted upon that one. And we went to the police, and a committee was then formed, which included 2 CIOs, the whole CID law and order hierarchy, top hierarchy in Zimbabwe, which was headed by one criminal called Makedenge. So we went there and followed up on this information. We went to grave number 71. And guess what? It is there, the grave number 71. And it's located in Chikurubi. And what they do now with these graves is like those numbers from 171 to, these are like just the graves. So number 71 fell into the year 2008. And while we were there at Chikurubi, someone decided to burn the cemetery side. So that, because I thought maybe, so that we wouldn't see which grave was tempered or not, because everything, there would be no grass everywhere and it would be just, So someone decided to burn. But we nevertheless went to the grave number 71 and we saw the grave number 71. So basically this person who wrote this message knew that there was a grave number 71 in Chikurubi. And when he went and found out who had been buried in grave number 71, it was someone who they said was once deemed insane, and they could not find his relatives. So basically it was someone, they actually put someone who, even if you wanted to follow up to find out was he really buried in that grave, you wouldn't have any leads, because this person was just deemed someone who had no relatives whatsoever. So we went to Border Gezi. It was in Marsh West, some area in Marsh West there. And when we got there, it was literally an army base. And all of us were surrounded by the military. And they started to issue threats. on everyone, including the police who were, heading this mission, and they took our names as if they were the police. Like it was more like, like you guys are in our military base. Why are you? What are you doing here? Who gave you authority to come here? Do you get authority from? So these two CIOs who were there then said, yeah, well, this is something that came from the president, so we did not need the authority and so forth and so forth. But for me, it was more like something that had been stage played, so that the lawyers and the family does not, it feels like something is happening, and investigations are being done. So yeah, all that happening, and now we then got to a point where we said, like, so this message came from a phone. Whose phone is that? Is it? Why don't you just retrace and find out whose phone it is? They did that. They found a name, and the name was of someone who was like in Kwekwe, Redcliffe. So they said, no, us as police, we need to be as transparent as possible. So we need to go together, you lawyers and the family, to go and investigate this. So we drove in our own car. The police drove in their own car. We went to Redcliffe, Kwekwe, and we saw a girl, a high school Form 5 girl, who was said to be the owner of that phone. So they asked them, do you know it about Itai? She was a small girl. But now what then came up is like, she said, yeah, I used to have that phone, but I lost the phone when I was at school. Where do you go to school? She used to learn at a military base. Right. So all this coincidence of having the military involved in all this was like, adding up, like, the message was saying that the army was involved. And this girl was now talking about her phone, losing her phone at the military. So we then asked the police, like, you guys can have like the SIM card and even know which phone sent it and stuff, but they just, closed it off. So now we then went to the point of asking them, like, okay, we do have names and surnames. This is a very good lead. Why don't we go to the register of names and find out who these guys are, where they live, and what are their addresses, so that you guys can then investigate. That was it from the police. They then shut down the investigation. Makedenge told us that Mudede, I think it was Mudede, that time was the registrar. He had said that even in as much as you have the names and surnames, why don't you? I need birthdays too. It was like, okay, these guys don't want. So threats started to come in. Me and my family were now more or less, a target. One day after all this, I get home, and I find out that a grave had been dug in my yard, and this was a sign, and a clear threat that I had to stop. This is why I then, decided to then, come to the United States. But but basically, this is all about the picture of where we are as lawyers with Itai Dzamara. At the moment, we are trying to garner support here in the diaspora to assist the family in whatever way they can. And we are also trying to write letters to the Congress, the Congress, or human rights organizations to at least, keep Itai's case visible in their books, and also, in whatever platform that we can. Because surely we cannot sit and say that we're doing something 7 years on without holding this government to account. Someone has to, to account for his disappearance, or at least the family has to know what happened to their beloved one. So basically, that is what I can say from here. I noticed that Itai Dzamara had entered. Can I ask if she's still here? Because I saw her dropping. No. Probably I'll just try to call her now. But if there's anyone who wants to say something, I think probably this is the time. Okay. I'm just trying to call them now. Yeah, nobody there. Mkoma, what do you say? Hello? Yes, what do you say? Hello? Hello, yes, what do you say, Mkoma? Okay, no problem. But if you want to say something, kana network ichibvumira, I think you can go ahead and say something. Andi muna Itai Dzamara. Okay. So probably kutanga nawo. I talked to the people and chitaura about Itai and my experience in I. So basically, I think how are you guys doing, and how can we assist? How can you assist you guys and the Itai Dzamara? I think Wapinda and my Itai Dzamara and family. Kuti is what can we do? So basically, I think tungwapa platform Wombo Tower. Let me use their connection. So can I send on WhatsApp? Oh, okay. I know. I'll keep it online. You gonna repo? Do a repo? Okay. So even no, I'll keep it online. Then to what you over tower is it? I think their connection. Okay. So tower you Maizama. Tokchinga Mizai. Hello. Where am I mute? Yeah, connect everyone. Okay. Yeah, I need to get you Zimbabwe one. Yeah, that one's going to okay. Yeah, no, you can go ahead. It's all right. You end up on mute. Hello. Yeah, it's all right. You end up on mute. Say up on mute. Hello. Oh yes, it's all right. Okay. Dina Itai Dzamara bana pamkoma Ken. I think she can go ahead to tell all this Ragamira says Muri, this Ragamira say Newana. Hello, Mudinzwa. Yeah, Tukunzwa. All right.
Magari zvenyu rinetwa mai Dzamara, ndiri mudzimai waItai Dzamara.
Tokuchingamidzai mai Dzamara. Kare ndokuwana nguva yekuti yekuwana izvinasi. You can go ahead.
Okay, chinhu chakaoma kuti Itai asvitsa 7 years nhasi tisiri kuziva kuti ari kupi. Semhuri tinobatikana, tinorwadziwa zvikuru kurarama tisiri kuziva kuti Itai ari kupi.
Yes, hello.
Hello, yeah. Hello, yeah, Tukunzwa, please go ahead.
Yeah.
And zvinorwadza kunyanya tikatarisa vana nokutendana nenyasha kuti vari kutokura baba vasipo. Tisiri kuziva kuti Itai chichakaitika achauya here, uye government yeZimbabwe hapana zvairi kuita maringe nenyaya yemurume wangu. So zvinhu zvinotishungurudza kunyanyisa. Government yeZimbabwe iri kutora nyaya yemurume wangu haisi kuitora serious. Because dai vaida Itai dai akatowanikwa kana takaziva kuti chichakaitika, but ndofunga havasi kuzvitora serious. Saka zvinhu zvinorwadza.
Yeah. So,
Yes, hello.
Hello. Yes, Mkoma. Yeah, you can go ahead. You can go ahead, please.
Yes, you can go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So nachiti saka vana vari kuita sei manje in terms of welfare and you know what help yamungada in terms of of morale kauti pane rubatsiro here rwamukuwana here from either government or anyone.
From the government, there's nothing. Because they are not responsible for that, so we can't expect anything from the government. At the moment, especially since they are still going to kuchikoro, and also chikafu, also. So, as a family, we are trying our best. So, if we can get support in those areas, yes, and also for these platforms, we are creating a highlight about the so and you don't know where he is. His support.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It's very unfortunate, and yeah. So it goes up patikamboita our case tambowana ma leads atikambofamba nawo mazuva ekumapurisa. Pane zvakazoitika here in terms of follow up on the issues dzema message aya anga aripo aya nemama picture akambozobuda.
Yeah, when person was still alive, but I think I can try, but there was nothing really tangible chakabuda from those. We tried as a family, but apana chiri tangible chatakakwanisa kuwana from those late. I think patakangosira patakamboenda I think takatombofamba tese tichienda kuna na border case and tese I think apana hatina much information yatakawana from there.
Yes. Okay. So another issue is in terms of
99 items.
How much confidence do you feel, or even security wise, kufambira nyaya? Do you feel kuti makanyanya pusha sterek varuma vanogwa kuita something?
Can you come again? I think I'm going to make a break here.
Okay. I was asking about your personal security. How how do you view that, given that pani nyaya kadai so? Do you feel kuti you can safely pursue nyaya Itai muri mu Zimbabwe?
Hello.
Hello. Mwakuninzwa? Yeah, hello. Yeah, network iriku jamba. Hello. Okay. All right. Without what's okay online. And is there anyone who wants to ask any question, or probably you want to know more about the family situation, or even would want to? Because I sent a link in our groups where if you feel you want to donate something, that would be great towards probably their welfare. And we're trying to have 9 March as a day where we remember the family until we find justice on this. And I would very much love your support on this, and anything that you can contribute towards that would be very, very much appreciated. If there's anyone who wants to talk, may I please share?
You can.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Advocate Masiye, for this gesture that you have done, and to put up this platform where you can share your experiences with Itai and his disappearance. I know it's a sad story. I was listening carefully when you were talking and narrating everything. Apart from what we heard from the Zimbabwean press, and I think when it happened, I had just left Zimbabwe. I think I left Zimbabwe a week before. I had gone to bury my dad. He died the month before, and I got here. Then I got the news that's what was a developing story, and we thought he was just going to be found and he was going to come back alive. But up to this day, we don't know. And I know how difficult it is as a family to just not know what exactly happened to him. And sometimes not like tangoona zvedu kana paakavigwa chete if he's dead, or just to know what happened to him. I think it puts everything to rest. But as you can see, the regime that we have is not prepared to come out on what happened, or to say, at least give a lead to the family of what happened to him. So, I mean, it's so sad, and zvinorwadza. Ndakateera nchinzwa madzimai and vana vatokura avatomboziva vanongoziva kuti our father disappeared. They don't know whether he's alive or not. I mean, it's just a very difficult situation. And Advocate Ken, thank you very much for doing this. I've been trying to donate on the link, like I told you earlier on, from Canada. I'm having issues, but I know we're going to work it out after this. So I'm donating my $50 towards this. And I urge everyone here, or even if you can sell it to other groups, as you can see the family and the situation in Zimbabwe right now, they definitely do need our support. Let's do whatever we can do, and we're doing it for Itai. You know the cause that he died for. It's the struggle that we're still on, and actually we can say he's a pioneer of of this struggle. So let's put our hands together and help the family and donate. Otherwise, once again, thank you very much. And kuna mainini, because ndiri wenyatiwo futi inini ndiro kwamakoni kwarusape uko. So tinoti rambai makashinga. God is in charge, and tichakubatsirawo as much as we can. And ingorambai makashinga as a family. And to my brother there, please keep fighting and look after the family. You've done a good job so far. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, leader. Anyone else? Yes, Taffy, you can go ahead.
Thank you very much, and I'm sorry, Itai Dzamara and the family. I was very touched, and this really gave me an insight. I did not know the exact details, so I really appreciate you, Advocate, for organizing this for us. I will be pledging the same thing as $50, the same with Chair Bako. And I just would like to encourage every one of us to continue remembering the family. This is a very difficult situation, not having closure. I'm touched because I lost a brother a couple of months ago, and this is a very, very difficult situation. And yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, leader. Yeah, it's quite difficult. Today I got a phone call from Chief, and I told them that the 9 March is usually a very emotional day for me, and I would like to thank you very much that you took your time to join the family today to remember Itai. And that's very, very much appreciated. Is there anyone who wants to say anything again?
No, we're not.
Thank you so much, Chair.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
What did I tell you?
Hello. Please go ahead, Mama.
Taita vanhu vaviri vada kutaura. Makadi henyu maidzamara nemhuri yose kwadzamara. Tinoramba tichinzwa kurwadziwa pamwe chete nemi. Asi chokwadi chacho ndechekuti hatisvike pamunosvika imimi. Saka kana mashoko ekutaura anotiomera nekuti zvakaitika izvi, we can only imagine. Tinogona kungofunga chete kuti zvakadai kana kuti zvinorwadza kusvika pakati kurwadziwa kwatinoita isusu kokuzoti imi vemhuri zvinenge zvakamira sei. Saka tinopererwa namashoko ekutaura, asi chandinogona kutaura nhasi ndechekuti munazoramba muchirangarira kuti isu tinemi mundangariro dzedu nemumina macho. Ndozvikuru zvatinogona kuita, nokuti simba chairo hatina rinogona kuti rinyatsosvika pakatikati pemwoyo wenyu, nyange kuti rikunyaradzei kana kukuzorodzai, asi kuti tinotongokumbira ivo Mwari musiki kuti vagare vachingotumira mweya mutsvene wavo ugare pakati pemwoyo wenyu, ukusimbisei zvikuru sei pamunenge makatarisana nevana, muchitarisa kukura kwavari kuita nemarwadzo ekuchengetana nemhuri muZimbabwe, uri single parent and usina closure. Saka kunze kweminamato zvimwe zvose tingataure hedu, asi munamato ndo waticharamba takakurangarirai zvakanyanyisisa. Ndichazamawo kuti ndikande zvandinokandawo kune vari kukolekta mari kuti zvingofambisa ndima padiki diki papo patinenge tasvika. Asi ndinodazve kutenda Advocate Masiye nekuramba vakamira nemhuri. Chokwadi gore negore munogara muchitaura, chero pamunowana mukana, pangava papi panotaurwa pema-human rights abuses, munenge muripo muchingosumudzira zita raItai Dzamara. Chokwadi ndinoshaya kuti ndingakurumbidzei sei kana kukutendai sei, asi Mwari ndo vanoziva. Tinongosiyira kwavari kuti vagokutendai varivo Mwari pachavo. And your wishes nekuramba makabatana nemhuri iyoyo, let them not fall in vain, but kuti isu ticharambawo tichibatana nemi nepatinogona, as you continue to poke us, tikagara muchingoita sezvamaita izvozvo izvo, tongotowo padiki patinenge tichikwanisa maita henyu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mama Dzire. That means a lot to me and also to the family. Such solidarity, that's what the family needs in such times. Because once you feel like you are fighting a solo battle and no one is joining in, either emotionally or otherwise. Yes, I see there's a KM who wants to talk. You can go ahead and talk.
Thank you so much, Masiye. I thank you so much for having this event. I'm gonna pledge to help with another $50 with others have done, and maybe by just out of interest, right now, how old are the children that were left by Itai?
Yes. So, Pani Akasiwa ni I think one was 4, the other one was 8. You just hold on, Mukoma. So, how old are the children now? Eight years. Okay. So the other one is 13 years. I'll top in Form 1. So the other one is 8. Yeah. So the other one is 8 years. So it's been 7 years now. We're Form 1. So that's the answer. Yeah. The other one is 13. He's turning 13. The other one is 8 years. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yes. I see, Chief. You raised your hand. Can you go ahead? Chief, you can. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Advocate Masiye, for doing what you're doing, advocating for Itai Dzamara. Advocacy is one of the biggest weapons that we have against tyranny, especially if you are here in the diaspora. And let me also thank Itai Dzamara and relatives and the children for being here and for remaining steadfast. I've had conversations with the family, with her, and interventions have been done before at individual level and at organizational level. But I think where we are now, we need to go beyond that. We need to go beyond just talking, beyond just providing meals on a day-to-day basis. What my Dzamara needs is something that will set her up for life. It's not easy what she's going through, what the children are going through. 7 years down the line, 2015, on the same day today, someone disappears and you don't get to know what actually happened. In psychology, they have something that they call closure. You don't have closure. The children don't have closure. The mother doesn't have closure. The relatives don't have closure. I remember when I was with Patson at the UN demo in 2017. Every time he was talking, you would almost come to tears. Those were at that demonstration. You will remember what Patson would do whenever he starts talking about his brother. Even later on, after the demo, we sat down and we're talking about Itai. It's not easy. It was not easy for our brother Patson. May his soul rest in peace. And I know it's not easy for my Dzamara. It's not easy for the children. That's why I'm saying we need to intervene in a bigger way so that these children and the mother can at least have a life. I know right now they don't have a life in Zimbabwe. There's nothing good that is going on. We talk about a lot of things, but if we don't talk about our victims of torture, victims of political violence in a way that will change their lives, then we'll continue to have meetings, we'll continue to talk to them, we'll continue to be sending cooking oil and mealie meal and school fees here and there. One term it comes, one term it doesn't come. That's not the way it should be done. If there is a way that we can sit down as a people, as a party, as a nation, as citizens, and come up with a lasting way that can remove the family from what they are going through, the current stress of things that they are going through right now. That is what I would advocate. And going forward, we should not just be limiting ourselves to sitting down here and talking about what happened. It's good. It's really good, and we need to do more about that. But we can go a step further. Why not have a demonstration today? It's the day that he disappeared. That Itai disappeared. We should be out there in the streets. We should be talking about this in a big way. Like I said when I started, that advocacy is one way we can express ourselves and we can get our voices to be heard, across the world, which means we should be out there, talking about the family's predicament, or even bringing her here at those demonstrations, and then she speaks and the world hears what exactly she's going through or what the family is going through. It's important that we do something like that. And as we look forward to next year, which I hasten to say we shouldn't even be talking like that. But as we think about next year, the commemoration of Itai Dzamara's disappearance, let's think about a bigger way that we can, talk about, this gallant person, this brave person. I've yet to see such bravery as it is, that someone would just go and start demonstrating. I think, yes, we have heard Namatai and other people, but in the age of demonstration, Itai Dzamara was one of the first people, in fact, the first person in Zimbabwe to go out there when it was unfashionable to do it, when it was so, fearsome to do it. During the Mugabe era, you know what Mugabe was like. But he would go there, out there, on his own, with his, posters. I'm yet to see anything like that at the moment. So we need to celebrate people like him in a bigger way. But the family deserves better than what we are doing now. I know people are doing a lot. I know people are coming through, but we can do more. Let's sit down and see how we can help Itai Dzamara and family. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leader Chokora. Those are very inspiring words, and definitely would try to do more. Advocacy is key, and we need to conscientize, the world of such a gross violation of human rights that happened in Zimbabwe, and that continues to happen even today. The family, continuing to be tortured, mentally, not knowing what happened to their loved one, Itai Dzamara. Yes, Leader Kwekwerere, I think you can go ahead. I see your hand is raised up.
I'm sorry, Dzamara. I'm sorry, I want to appreciate for taking time to come and have this moment as we remember their son, their father, and their brother Itai. I also wish to appreciate Advocate Masiye for organizing this meeting. Like what Mama Dzivire and others, we don't have enough words to console or to comfort. with no words to say, but God knows how our hearts are bleeding for Itai. And I pray that people will be motivated to remain standing with their children, to remain standing with Itai Dzamara. Itai Dzamara tinokutendai nokuchengetera mhuri yedu yakasiyiwa. Mungoramba makashinga chibata pamwe chete. Handina zvangu mashoko akawanda, asi ndinongoti isheranemi neminamato tinenge tichingotumira ikoko, hamusiri nyika, musiri kunjeni iyoyo. Tinonamata kuti zvisaitirwe ani zvake muZimbabwe izvozvo zvakaitirwa vaDzamara. Tinozviramba. Saka ticharamba tichingomirawo tichipikisa kuti vanhu vawane kodzero dzavo. Kachipo kamwe tichatuma iko kuna Advocacy. Maita henyu.
Yeah, thank you very much, Michael. Those were very moving words. If there's anyone else who wants to say something, I think this is time before I allow the Dzamara family to say the last words before we close this off. Is there anyone who wants to say something? No. Right, I think
Kennedy, sorry to jump in, and I'll probably reach out after this. I know you mentioned that some of the actions are continuing to, like for individuals who are based in the US, writing to members of Congress or either writing to parliamentarians, either, other governments that can put pressure on our government. Are you able to, how will we be able to get that information? Will you draft out like a template, that individuals who are not familiar with the process can copy, and then also just tell them perhaps ways in which they can reach out to their representatives in different states or in their areas of influence, and the type of things that they can do to follow up on that. So that information would be very helpful. And then we can do a coordinated, are we just writing continuously over a long period of time, or you want the action to be taken at specific events or situations?
Thank you, Moya. That is a very, very good contribution. I think continuous engagement is key, given the period of time that we have actually passed, and I would definitely endeavor to come up with something that I share with you, and if you do have also experience doing that, that's great, so that we can have a sort of like a semi-template where the information is there, what happened is there, and people will just be sending in to their responses from whoever stated. Thank you very much for that contribution.
No problem, Kenneth. I was just going to add that I know Amnesty International also has an ongoing one, but that's for letters to the government of Zimbabwe. So I think maybe we can tag team with them, and then while we are the initiatives here in the diaspora, but then also ramping up or raising awareness using social media to get the whole world to be writing letters to Zimbabwe. I don't know if, I'm not sure what the postal system is like, but even if it's emails, inundating them with calls, emails, letters, whichever. So that's also something that we could pick up on what other international organizations are doing. I know for a fact that Amnesty has a campaign around it, but I think it just, of course, over the years, it's faded away. So we could help to pick it up.
No, perfect. All right. Yep. So, Mkoma, are you still there?
Yes, Ngoma Kenam, we are here.
Okay. So I think you can go ahead and say the last words, you and my Dzamara, and probably can then close it off, and we can continue the engagement after this.
Okay. I've got Mama Waripana, Bamai Itai, maybe 1 or 2 or wachingotenda out this a platform as a family. So let's just hear from Mama.
All right, thank you.
Magadi.
Tipo Magadi, Mama.
Tinofara hedu. Ndinoda kungokutendai nebasa guru ramuri kuita rekutibatsira pamusoro pemhuri yaItai uye pamusoro pokuti dai Itai awanikwa. Musaneti, Mwari akuramba achikupai simba, rambai muinesu, tinokutendai, dai Mwari wakuitirai zvakanaka masvita.
Tinotenda, Mama. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Also, who is there? Pana nokutenda mwana waita the first born. Maybe anonyara kutaura but achangotaura hwanoro ngotenda. Just hear from him.
Yes.
matirangarirawo semuri novimba kuti dai baba vangu akawanikwa.
Okay, we just want to thank you, Advocate Ken, for this basa ramurikuita, even pamamwere kuno nekufamba kwamakaita naItai. We appreciate you very much, Ngoma Ken. We appreciate the support. We appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ngoma. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yes.
Any words from my Dzamara?
Okay, you can hear from Shifra, Itai's wife.
Ndokutendai zvikuru neplatform yamashandisa kurangarirawo murume wangu. Tinonzwawo kufara kuti least vanhu havana kukanganwa kuti Itai hatisati tamuwana. Ndinokutendai ndichiti Mwari vakuitirai zvakanaka, maita basi.
Okay, Ngoma Ken.
Okay. No, thank you very much, Ngoma Kwinza Murenyu, for this commemoration. We will continue to have you and your family in our prayers, and you can count on my support and that of everyone at Ripanapa, to help you, overcome this situation at Ripanapa. We are going to be, making noise about Itai. So much noise that it will not be ignored. And thank you again for coming and taking this call. Network yanga chimbonetsa at first. Magetsi anomboita achimbodzvenga, I know, but you managed to find ways to go on today, and I really appreciate you coming today. So with those words, I would like to ask probably Mai Gwekwerere if she's able to give us a word of prayer in closing.
Mwari, tinokutendai panguva dzamasikati ano, tinokutendai nenyasha dzenyu, tinokutendai nechipo choupenyu, tinokutendai nemhuri yekwadzamara, tinokutendai Mwari Baba naAdvocate Masiye nawese vanhu vaungana pano pamusangano kuti tirangarire hama yedu Itai Dzamara. Mwari, tinonamatira kunyaradzwa, tinonamatira kuwanikwa kwaItai Dzamara, tinonamatira kuendeswa mberi neupenyu kwemhuri nevana, tinonamatira Mwari Baba kuti zvikwanisiro zvoupenyu zvavana, mafizi, zveutano hwavo nezvose zvive zvinoendeka muzita raJesu. Tinonamata zvakare masikati ano tichiti Mwari Baba, nyaya yemhirizhonga, nyaya yekumbunyikidzwa muZimbabwe ngachive chinhu chakare, chinhu chapfuura. Tinonamatira rugare munyika yeZimbabwe. Tinonamatira Mwari Baba kuti vese vanombunyikidzwa dai mabatawo mwoyo yavo kuti vave nemwoyo inopfava, mwoyo inoregerera, mwoyo inonzwira vamwe. Tinonamata nokutenda panguva ino Mwari Baba. Chitirambai muchititungamirira kuti munyika medu muite rugare. Tinokutendai nokubatana kwedu kwatakaita izvezvi nemhuri Mwari Baba. Inyasha dzenyu Mwari Baba kurangarirwa munguva ino youpenyu. Naizvozvo tinodzorera mbiri yose kwamuri Mwari Baba. Tichingoti Ishe wangu, rambai muchingotirangaridzawo kune vakawanda vanombunyikidzwa, vakawanda vanowirwa nezvavanowirwa nazvo. Timire semhuri yeZimbabwe tichingobatirana pamwe chete. Tinokutendai muzita raJesu. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, leaders. This marks the end of our commemoration, and really appreciate you guys. Please continue to donate through the link that I sent in the messages there in the chat, and we'll look forward to our next discussion on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, viewers and listeners, for joining us for Itai Dzamara's commemoration, which was organized by his lawyer, Kenny Masiye. I would like to address some of the comments that I saw as the event was proceeding. I found some of these comments shocking and disappointing, and I found them painful to read and to realize that as people who are facing an enemy who has visited untold terror on us, we still can't unite and speak with one voice as one people. I'm not going to flight these comments, and for some of them I didn't flight them as the event was proceeding. Someone wrote, munhu wese akarwadziwa asi zvakatodarika, tiudzei zvekuHighfield kuti zviri kufamba sei. My sister or my brother, I don't know whether you are familiar with Itai Dzamara, who he is, and the circumstances that surround his this commemoration. Itai Dzamara was someone who used to wake up almost every day and go and stand in town long back when no one else dared to speak out against the ZANU-PF regime when Mugabe was still in power. He used to go and stand alone in Harare, in the city, holding placards demanding that ZANU-PF should stop terrorizing people. As a result, he was abducted and he just disappeared. And no one, not his family, his friends, fellow MDC supporters, no one has any information as to what really happened to him except for hearsay. But Itai Dzamara's brother, Patson Dzamara, also died fighting for one, that his brother should be returned, or at least his remains should be returned, or at least just information as to what happened to him. And as a result of the noise that he made, he ended up getting killed. So we are talking about two people from the same family. I don't know, my sister or my brother. I just want you to put yourself in the shoes of the mother of these two sons, or the sister of these two brothers, or the wife of one of these two brothers, or the son or daughter of these men. If you were in their shoes, would you say the words you're saying so lightly? Really? How would you feel if somebody said that about someone who is close to you? If we want to defeat ZANU-PF, we have to come together as one person, as one people, and genuinely love one another. Love is the greatest power that is, which can overcome all obstacles. Love is the greatest power that will overcome ZANU-PF. If we cannot learn to love one another as fellow Zimbabweans, we will remain under the reigning terror of ZANU-PF, because that's what ZANU-PF feeds off, our division. When they can set us against each other, Ndebele against Shona, Tonga against Kalanga, teachers against students, that's where ZANU gets its power from. The day that we unite and stand and speak with one voice is the day that ZANU-PF falls. But at the same time, I would just like you to, to reflect on what image are you projecting of yourself. The person who wrote this message is someone who has been participating in many live programs and has been giving, very constructive feedback and suggestions. So I was very surprised. This came as a surprise. It really took me aback that you could really say something like that. In our culture, I don't know how old you are, my sister or my brother, but ngatiregei kurasa culture yedu. Pane zvimwe zvakakosha stereki zviri muculture yedu, kuti kana paine munhu akashaya, kana une something negative to say parufu pake, pamemorial pake, respect yourself enough to just keep it in your heart. Don't let anyone know, kuti, this is who I am. It's very disturbing, I'm sorry to say. And another one, akati zvakatodarika, the defeat have been considered. Now it's time to move on. Tipinze Mkomana. I will not say your name, the person who made this post, but I would just like you to understand that right now there are people who are on the ground, people who you and me are hoping or expecting to risk their lives to go and do what needs to be done for ZANU-PF to be removed. If we cannot show respect for a person who did that exact same thing about 7 years ago for us, and his remains have not been found, there is no closure concerning his case, if we can just choose to forget his efforts and his children just like that, what do you think the people on the ground right now, if they know that this is how we are, do you think they are going to feel encouraged to go out there and risk their lives, whether it's to go and vote or to defend their vote? If we expect the people who are in Zimbabwe, because we are abroad, most of us probably won't be able to go in person and vote. But if we expect the people who are on the ground in Zimbabwe to come out in their numbers and to vote on our behalf and defend the vote on our behalf, we cannot afford to give out the message that you go and do that, but after 7 years, if you have died, your children, there is no one who's taking care of them, and we don't care, we will have moved on. That's a self-defeatist attitude. We're defeating ourselves by doing that. What we need to do is to show to everyone that if you risk your life for the cause, we will remember you. We will take care of your children. Then it's easy for people to risk their lives on our behalf for a free Zimbabwe. And somebody wrote, many people were killed in 2008, guys, and some are still being killed right now. Gukura Hundi killed thousands of Ndebele people, and some bodies are still missing up to date. We also need a commemoration for all these people killed by ZANU-PF. My brother or my sister, I know that the person who was killed last weekend or 2 weekends ago, a commemoration was held for him and funds were raised. I was in that Zoom live where this took place, and I believe we did air it live here. So the kind of selective application that you are implying is not the case. And please, let's stop turning everything into a tribal issue. Itai Dzamara's brother, Patson Dzamara, was also killed fighting for the same cause that his brother died for. But this event was in commemoration of Itai, not even his brother. And there are many non-Ndebele people who have been killed by ZANU-PF. Why do we need to turn this into a tribal thing? If you feel that, we should have an event commemorating victims of Gukura Hundi, get a hold of us, organize it, because all that we are doing is broadcasting an event that was organized by Itai Dzamara's lawyer. The lawyer of Itai Dzamara has taken it upon himself as an individual to see to it that Itai Dzamara's wife and children are taken care of in the absence of their father or husband. It is a personal decision that he made, and we support that. If you also have an idea, you organize something, even if it's a fundraiser, whatever it is that you choose to organize, reach out to us. We are happy to broadcast this live and have people come in and support you. Give us a link for donation and people will donate. Let's not have that attitude of always finding blame and accusing. There are people who have held these commemorations and donated and done more than that. We should be ashamed to sit on the sidelines and just criticize what others have made great efforts to achieve. If you can, be part of the effort. But if you can't, it's better just keep it in your heart. Don't allow emotions to control your tongue or your actions. Control your emotions. If you fail to control your emotions, they will wreak havoc in your life. And Brilliant Pofu wrote a similar message saying, how many people died? Why Itai in everyone? Last week, another one died in Kwekwe. Why are you choosers? Yes, the same, my brother. It's the lawyer of Itai Dzamara. I think you can understand why it's personal for him. He described, even during the live, how he was attacked too when he was trying to help his client. And he has taken it upon himself to to make sure that Itai Dzamara's family is provided for, and Itai Dzamara's efforts are not forgotten. Let's not forget that this is someone who died for defending your rights and my rights. He's not someone who was just victimized, whether, let's say, by bad luck or by chance. The reason why he was victimized is that he was fighting for you. He was fighting for your rights. So how can you stand here and be pained to hear that someone is trying to, to commemorate his legacy and to ensure that his family is doing well, given the situation in Zimbabwe at the moment? Where is our gratitude to the people who sacrificed their lives to free us, to earn us our rights? Where is our gratitude? Just bitterness. Why is he being helped? That is so sad. Very sad. I was very, very disappointed with these comments which I saw as the event was playing out. Please, as brothers and sisters, let's not look for what divides us. Let's look for that which unites us. Let's not seek to have things done for us by others and to always analyze to see where we are short-handed. Let's seek to be the givers, to be my brother's keeper, to be the proactive fighters for our own rights, not to wait for other people to do it for us all the time and then choose to forget them if they should meet a regrettable fate as a result. That's something very shameful, that you can turn around and say such degrading things about someone who lost his life so that you can have a better life. And still you are waiting for other people in Zimbabwe to do the same, to go and risk their lives so that you can have a better life. But you can't appreciate the one who died trying to do that for you. Very, very discouraging, very, very disappointing. Let's refrain from that kind of attitude. Let's seek to love to genuinely love one another and to uplift each other. That is the only way we can defeat ZANU-PF and unite our country. There was a comment which was asking about the event that took place during this week in Highfields. I did look around on Twitter Spaces to see if there are any updates on that story. In a moment, I'm going to switch to Twitter to just to give an outline of the events surrounding that story before we close down. Study Monya Hunzi, thank you for your comment you wrote. Could Advocate consider a page either on social media so that we can continue getting involved? Thank you so much. This is the spirit. This is the spirit that defeats ZANU-PF. Kwete kungomarana marana tichidzikisirana pasi nekutsvaga kuti sei uyu azonzi, why not me? Kuite jealous unge vana vadiki vanorwira masweets. Like seriously guys, it's time to grow up. We cannot defeat ZANU-PF if we're going to be childish. Please. Shinga Kabudura ehe ipapo handirambi ndozvisiva ko uyu ari kunzi afa kuhighfield ichokwadi here. Aiwa, Shinga Kabudura haana kufa, akarohwa. He was very badly beaten. Achiri mupenyu hake. I'll give you details soon. Ndichikuratidzai matweets ari recent tweets on that story. Hanzi naNelson Madzikatire vachatiudza zvavo kuti Itai vakamuisa kupi. Yes, definitely. In due time. Zvikanzi naShinga, ini handisi weZanu, ndakaroverwa MDC ndiri grade 2 ndati pamberi naMorgan. No, I didn't think kuti uri munhu weZanu, but I was just saying that one comment yamakanda yekubvunza kuti why are we commemorating only him out of all people? I see, from the perspective of our culture, asiro matauriro atinoita pane zvinhu zvakaita serufu kana memorial commemoration yemunhu hatizivi kuti akashaya here, but chances are. So don't worry my sister, it's just kungoudzana kuti tibatane tiende mberi tisaite zvinhu zvinotidzoka kumashure. No problem. Shinga Kabudura, it's all right. Oh, Loveness Gotora, hello. Antina Lavu, Hassan Wanyali, it's not that easy, comrade. We don't even know whether he's dead or alive, and you have to say this like this, seriously. Thank you so much, my sister Lavu. You are addressing one of the comments which was saying we should just move on and forget about Itai Dzamara. You're so right. We shouldn't do that. That would be so wrong of us to choose to forget people who sacrificed their lives for us and still expect other people to do the same. We're actually setting a precedent. Tichidaro vanhu vari kuZimbabwe vakazviziva kuti disappear vana vako vanosara vasina anovachengeta. Pane achada here kuzoenda kunovhota kwacho? Pane achazoda kunodefenda vhoti yacho achiziva kuti masoja anogona kuzotumwa anything can happen, but people will not bother to try and see kuti at least vana vangu vari kuchengetwa. Let's not do that. We defeat ourselves tikadaro. So Anzina Joseph Bishau, chese chakaitwa pakawanzika chichaitwa pamusoro pedzimba, vanhu vese vachiona musi wekutongwa. No stone will remain unturned. God will make sure that justice is served. Yes, these are the end days, my brother. Ndosaka zvese zvakawanda zvisinganzwisisike zviri kuitika izvi. Very soon the judgment day is coming. Vanhu veZanu, they will meet their creator and they will be held to account. Thank you so much for your comment. We're just going to switch over to Twitter, where we will look at a few tweets concerning the violence that took place recently in Highfields. I'm sure you can see this. Oh wait, it's not showing yet. Let me just take care of one thing so you can see the tweets that I'm talking about. Okay, there we go. Unfortunately, I don't know if you can read this as well as I can, so I'll just read it out. It says Maxidu Tuma, CCC candidate for Ward 26 Highfield West, has been forcibly taken by ZANU-PF youth. So this is what took place at first. He was abducted by ZANU-PF youth. His car has been hijacked by them. He was in Gazaland at the time they took him against his will. So this is what happened. His car was hijacked and they took him from Gazaland. And down here is a picture of Max Dutuma. He's the councillor candidate for Highfield West, Ward 26. He was abducted by ZANU-PF youth from Gazaland. And then there's a timeline to this. There are a few more tweets which addressing the same issue. Let me see if I can just find them. Okay, this one is from Highfield. Let's see if we can put the volume so you can hear what is being said by the person who took the video.
Machipisa. As you can see there, those are ZANU-PF youths also in that blue car, in that combi. They are gathered at Machipisa.
Yes. So that was
As you
a
can
video
see
by
there,
someone who
those
was
are ZANU-PF
passing by
youths
as
also
these incidents were unfolding, and he took a video.
in that blue car.
And then we have some images showing when he, Max Dutuma, and a few, and maybe two other CC supporters were being beaten up by ZANU PF youth. I think it's up here. Let's see if we can find. Okay, here's one picture of the assault when Max Dutuma and two other CCC supporters were being beaten up by ZANU PF youth. And here it says, here is a photo of CCC council candidate Maxwell Dutuma being beaten by ZANU PF thugs with another of our youth members. Instead of the perpetrators being arrested, he was detained at Machipisa police station. So what this tweet is saying that after being beaten by ZANU PF youth, the Max Dutuma and the CCC supporters who were beaten are the ones who were arrested and were detained at Machipisa police station. There's yet another one. Here is the same picture but a different tweet. This one now is saying our by-elections candidate Max Dutuma and three youth members who were attacked and badly injured by ZANU PF youth are now accused of assault. So people who were badly beaten by ZANU PF youth are the ones who are being accused of assault now. They've been taken to Harare C police. This unfair application of the law by the police must be condemned in the strongest terms. So that is the update on the case of Max Dutuma, a councillor candidate for Harare West, Highfields, who was beaten by ZANU PF youth and ended up being accused of assault and is being held in police detention at the moment. And another update that I got from somewhere else, which unfortunately I'm not in a position to share, is that the ZANU PF youth still followed to the police station and they were demanding that the police should release Max Dutuma. And the suspicion is that they would like to still harm him. Muri kuona here ruoko rwemunhu apa. I don't know kana muri kuona pane mouse yangu. Pane ruoko rwemunhu akatsimbirirwa nematires aya ari pasi apa. Oh my goodness. Terrible. But this was in response to a question by someone who was asking for updates on this case of Max Dutuma. Let me take this opportunity to thank you all for joining us for Itai Dzamara's commemoration, which was organized by his lawyer, Kennedy Masiye, to make sure that we don't forget Itai Dzamara as someone who risked his life every day going to town to demonstrate against the ZANU-PF regime on our behalf, and also to make sure that the children he left behind at least get some help with the things that their father could have done for them if he was alive, or if he was around and able to father them. Make sure that we send out that message that we look after our own, that if you risk your life for all of us, we will stand by you. We will not forget you. We will not reject your children, because it is important for our struggle for us to have that common understanding holding us together and strengthening us to continue in the struggle. Thank you so much for joining us, and allow me to wish you a blessed morning, afternoon, evening, or night, depending on what time it is wherever you're joining us from. We're going to leave you watching a video by Cooksman titled Hatina Musha. Once again, thank you and bye-bye.
Hatina Musha Pano Panyika Chinofadza mweya yedu kutsvaga musha unouya hatina musha hatina musha hatifari kuva vanhu zvinofadza mweya yemutsvaga musha unouya kutsvaga musha unouya hatina musha hatina musha tinoda musha isu tinoda musha sitarao iziyo unopenya usha wacho uzere runyararo pambi une runyararo vachazorora vachazorora see Amen.